Hey everybody, and welcome back to the board meeting. Today I'm going to be talking about something I don't talk very much about. I'm going to be talking about expansions. And I'm talking about expansions this week because I finally got into some of the expansions that I've been meaning to play recently. I've been playing a lot of the West Kingdom games lately, and so I decided I'm going to throw in some of the expansions. First off, I've got the Works of Wonder expansion for Architects of the West Kingdom. I got this a while ago, and why I really wanted to play the West Kingdom games is because I got the Kickstarter for my Viscounts of the West Kingdom, which came with two new expansions at the same time. So I figured I'll try my Works of Wonder expansion for Architects, which also I got the playmat for it. I got some more coins and stuff, some upgrades. So I was really excited about that, and I've been playing the expansion off for a bit. So let's just get right into it. And I don't talk about expansions too often, but let's start with the Architects of the West Kingdom second expansion, the Works of Wonder. Now, what comes in this? Now, this is going to mainly focus on a new track. In the original game, there is a virtue track. This adds an influence track, and you're going to be moving up and down this track pretty fluently, and you're going to be spending that to do different things in this game. Mostly, it's going to be focusing on the wonder buildings that you can now build. The wonder buildings are a public building that anyone can build, and it's going to cost a lot of money to build these buildings, these public buildings. They're like 15 clay. You're also going to have to spend influence points on your track. You might have to spend 5, 6, 7 influence on it. And so that's what the wonder cards are going to do. They're also going to give you a lot of points, obviously, but they're also going to give you a special ability. If you do happen to build one of the wonders, you get to take that wonder card, and then you can put that wonder down on one of the worker placement spots. And when you go to those spots now for yourself, you're going to get a kind of a bonus for going to those spots that you have wonders on already. It also adds 2 new tokens that are going to be migrating around the board. It's the Profiteer and the Princess tokens. They're going to be moving around. And these are going to give you bonuses if you go to the spots that have those people. And it's mostly going to be moving up tracks, moving up that influence track. If you have the most workers on the Princess location when there's a new break, you are going to get some bonuses for that as well. And if you go to the princess spot, you can also contribute. And when you contribute, you are going to basically add one of your resources to this card, and you'll get bonuses for that moving up on the influence track as well. So it adds that. If that was it for this expansion, I would say this is an okay expansion. But the thing that I'm most excited about for this expansion is it adds a new revamped solo mode. And that was very exciting for myself. Architects of the West Kingdom already had a solo mode. It wasn't the best, though. The AI wasn't the smartest. This kind of goes alongside the solo modes of Paladins of the West Kingdom, Viscounts of the West Kingdom. Architects definitely had the worst solo mode out of the 3. This revamps that all and makes it a good solo game now, which is really exciting. I liked the solo mode before, but it's only because it allowed me to play the game of Architects of the West Kingdom, which I really like. So I was super excited that they have done this. Total for this expansion, if it wasn't for the solo mode, I would probably give this expansion a 6.5, a 7. I thought it was okay, good, not amazing. But with that solo mode, this is almost a must-have for any Architects of the West Kingdom fans that are solo players. This makes that solo mode much better. So just for that solo mode, it's jumping up to an 8.5. The rest of that stuff, it's fine, it's decent. It gets you more of Architects if you like Architects. It also adds a bunch of new characters that you can play as, which is always a good thing. So yeah, an 8.5 for the Works of Wonder, Architects of the West Kingdom second expansion. So let's go into the 2 Viscounts of the West Kingdom expansions. Let's start off with the Keeper of Keys expansion. And both of these expansions, I say, are smaller than the Works of Wonder expansion. But the two expansions, let's start with the Keeper of Keys. This one is going to add a new dual layer board, which is always nice. So when you're moving along the tracks, moving along, putting your cards along, it's going to be dual layered. So that's always a nice thing. It just looks nicer and everything like that. The things that this expansion is going to add mechanically wise, you are going to have these chest tiles, which you can get these chest tiles and put them underneath your board now. And those chest tiles are going to give you some sort of unique ability for when a card of a certain symbol will slide into that slot. So if you have a symbol, like a trade symbol slides into that, that's going to get you an instant stone or something like that. There's going to be a bunch of bonuses for that. There are also now 3 public buildings that you can build, kind of like the Works of Wonder in that way. But if in this one, if you build one of the public buildings, you'll replace one of your buildings that you've already built, and that building will give you a ton of points plus some sort of unique ability for building that public building. But my favorite part of this expansion is the hero card that you can now hire. In the original game of Viscounts, you get to pick one hero to start your game, and that hero will go into your deck. Now there is going to be a row of heroes that is going to be available for you to hire into your deck, much like townsfolk cards. But now you can hire these hero cards, which is just going to give you bigger, more powerful cards into your deck. The one thing that might not be the best about that is now you can hire these big hero cards that are going to be very powerful. You're less incentivized, in my opinion, to get the regular townsfolk cards, unless that townsfolk is really specialized to a certain strategy that you would like to implement for your game. So yeah, that's this the Keeper of the Keys expansion. Let's go on to the Gates of Gold expansion. Now, for this one, much like the Keeper of Keys expansion, the Gates of Gold expansion is going to add outsider cards now. And the outsiders, like heroes now, you can hire them and bring them into your city, basically. And the outsiders, their thing is they're going to give you another way that you're going to score points. Each of these outsiders are going to have a unique way that are going to give you bonus points at the end of the game. Like some of them might give you points for having building cards on different tiles on the circular board that you're building your building on. So there's just a ton of new ways that you can score points in this game. So there's that. It also adds these manuscript boards, which now when you get a manuscript of a certain color, you're going to slot it into this manuscript board. And when you get that color, you're going to get a special ability unlocked for yourself. Like if you do get like the black manuscripts, now you can, at any time on your turn, you can trade a resource for a coin. And it's just going to give you more unique special abilities. There are also building and leader cards. So there's new cards for when you get the first meeple into the center of the castle. You're going to get that card and a different ability. You're also going to get, there's building cards. So if you're the first person to get all of one of your building types finished, you're going to get that builder card. There's also a card that you get if you're the first person to build one of every type of building. And it's just going to give you new points and new unique abilities. Other than that, these are some smaller expansions, but you take both of these expansions plus the base game of Viscounts, I believe that turns Viscounts into a heavy game now. There's a lot going on, and I wouldn't say that you need these expansions unless you're a big fan of Viscounts of the West Kingdom. And I would not play this with anyone who has not played Viscounts maybe a couple times before that, because it's going to add, there's going to be so much more, there's going to be so many more options. It can be overwhelming, especially if the fact that the West Kingdom games have a ton of iconography already. This is just going to add to that. But overall, I think they're good expansions. I'm going to give them a 7 rating. They're good, not great, in my opinion. I don't want any more expansions for either of the architect. I don't want any more expansions for Architects or Viscounts. I believe both of them are bloated enough now with all of these expansions. I don't need any more, and I think they've already stated that The West Kingdom games are completely done now. But that will be the review for these expansions. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on some of them, or if you're excited to try some of these expansions. Either way, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe to see more weekly content from me, Shane, at the board meeting in the future. Hope you all have an amazing day. Take care, everyone.